What's going on, MMA fans? I'm here to do a video entitled Anderson Silva. Where does he go from here? Excellent question that was asked of me. The reason that I'm doing a video just dedicated to this topic is because if I went over this in an MMA Corner video, I would take up the whole time because this is a really in-depth video. And I think that this deserves a video because it's probably one of the best questions I think I've gotten asked, because it is a real question, and it is a large question that many people have asked, not just diehard fans but newer fans alike that have followed Anderson Silva. So I want to be able to touch on all the topics in my MMA Corner videos, and I figured that this one, because of how in-depth it was, it deserved its own video. Of course, we've heard off and on that Yushin Okami is supposed to fight Anderson Silva. Okami is a very well-skilled ground and pound specialist. He's out of Japan, and the guy is really good on the ground. He is very strong. You've heard it from guys like Caleb Starnes. You heard it from Rich Franklin after their fight and said that guy is freaking strong. I mean, the dude's a gorilla, and there's not very many people that you can sit there and say the dude has got gorilla-like strength, but he does. He is a strong dude for that weight class. That being said, I've said many times in a couple of my videos that I think Anderson Silva is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world right now. And as much as I like Okami's style against Anderson, I don't see where Okami is going to win this fight. And that, I'm not going to go into depth about that because that's a prediction video if that comes to fruition and they do fight. But I don't think right now, even though that we've had rumors and we've heard Dana White kind of hint at Okami's going to have a title shot, there's some other stuff that's brewing up, so I'm going to hit that in just a second. But Anderson has just evolved so much from the point of the Marquardt fight with point of wrestler switch to the hip escapes that he looked really good against Hendo. Anderson's the total package, man. I mean, and he constantly is evolving his game, and he puts every single bit of energy that he has into training and into making himself better, and that's what makes him what he is today. Of course, if you've been following MMA news, MMA Junkie, Sheerdog, you know that, of course, Chuck's going to be fighting in August, or is it September? But he's fighting in Atlanta. I know that much. For the main event, and Anderson apparently, supposedly, is going to be moving up to 205. That's one of the other rumors going around right now. That was a question that was posed to me, and it's funny that that question was posed to me when there's a rumor going around about Anderson moving to 205. And the question that was posed to me was, could Anderson beat Chuck Liddell? I think 7 out of 10 times, stylistically, I think Chuck Liddell wins that fight. And I'll give the reasons why I think that. Chuck is very good at moving out of the clinch. He's very good with his footwork. He's very good at staying away from getting tied up with guys. And the last time that we really saw any tie-ups with Chuck, with anybody, was against Randy. I mean, you didn't see it with Tito. You didn't see it with Babalu. You didn't see it with Quentin. And you didn't see it with Keith Jardine. So I think Chuck stylistically is a bad matchup for Anderson because everything that Anderson can throw, Chuck is going to key off of. He's going to use, if Anderson throws a jab, he's going to key off that jab. He's going to key off everything that Anderson throws. So I think stylistically it's a really bad matchup for Anderson Silva. I don't see him getting Chuck to the ground. I don't see him getting Chuck in the clinch because Chuck is just so good at circling out of stuff. And I don't see where Anderson is going to... I think the reason that I just don't see is because the clinch is a very important tool to Anderson. I mean, if he doesn't have that in his arsenal, it's one less thing he's got. Do I think he can beat Chuck? Yes. and I think that there are some things that he could do. He could use, a game plan similar to what Keith Jardine used. You can jab, leg kick, circle out, jab, leg kick, and you point Chuck. But I think if you start getting to exchanges with Chuck, I think Anderson would just... I don't think that's the best matchup for him. I really don't. And I'm not saying Anderson gets knocked out. I'm not saying that Anderson gets stopped. But I think that that's just not the best matchup for him. I think that's a really, really rough matchup. So, like I said, I think Anderson could win. And I'm not saying he can't. But I think, like I said, 7 out of 10 times... personally, in my opinion, I think Chuck takes that fight. I think that's just a bad matchup for Anderson. So, yeah, it seems that Anderson is going to be moving to 205 possibly, and we don't know for sure. This is just a rumor that's been going around. A lot of sources that have been close to Dana White in the UFC. Of course, MMA Junkie is one of the first sites to report that, because they're really, really in close with the UFC about certain things. And there was a big rumor going around that Floyd Mayweather was on a contract with the UFC, which I highly doubt. But if they're going to do that, that really contradicts a lot of things that Dana has said. When he got done with the I don't know if anybody has seen the WEC video that a guy has taken of Dana backstage. But Dana said, well, we tried to stay away from the freak show business and the freak show fight. So you bring Floyd Mayweather in, and the guy has no prior MMA experience whatsoever. He hasn't trained. I mean, Floyd would have to dedicate himself 1.5 to 2 years just to get ready for a fight, because he is not anywhere near the level of any of these guys that he would be fighting. And that would be a freak show fight based upon the fact he has no prior experience. He's just a name. He's just a name from boxing. And it's no disrespect to Floyd Mayweather. He is a great boxer. I love Pernell Whitaker. I love Sugar Ray Leonard. I love some of the best boxers in the world. I watch boxing. But you can't bring a boxer into the sport of MMA that has no prior experience, and you can't bring an MMA guy into boxing that has no prior boxing experience. They're both going to be freak show fights, and both guys are going to get owned in those respective fights. So you can't do that, and that's one of the things that I hope they don't do. And it sounds like, from what Dana has said, keyword, what Dana has said, because you can never believe sometimes what he says, because he talks in circles, that he isn't going to bring Floyd Mayweather in on a contract. So we'll see what happens. But thanks for the topic, and it was from B Bad Boy. Man, I'm sorry, it's early in the morning. I think it's Boy B Bad Boy. I believe that's what his name is. Thank you for the topic, and thank you for the questions. I mean, that was an excellent topic. And I apologize if I butchered your name. I didn't write anything down because I got in late last night and went straight to bed. So this is first thing in the morning. Hopefully I covered the topic as best as I could. And once again, thanks for the topic. Leave some comments, constructive, negative, positive. And on that note, you guys, have a great day.